Welcome, race fans, to the Atlanta Motor Speedway. I believe we're live now. Facebook Live is being a bit wonky with me, but we finally got it up and running. So I'm here tonight with the iRacing Weekend Warriors Cash Payout Races event tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll be in the NASCAR trucks here tonight at Atlanta, and it should be a heck of a run. Going to throw up a couple of commercials because I did get backed up by Facebook Live being a bit weird with me just a moment ago, but we'll be back to normal in just a moment.
On January 1st of this year, we made a major announcement when we added Porsche as our newest partner. The first car we added to the sim was the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup, and at the same time we announced that we would be adding several more Porsches in the future. For the next Porsche, we wanted something special, something unique, something that hasn't been seen in a racing sim before, and something definitively Porsche. Today, that Porsche is here. So here we are in northern New Hampshire, where we found the perfect diesel Porsche. It's a model P133, and we're super excited to be able to scan it today. That should take us about 8 hours or so. After that, we'll do photo reference and sound recording. Then we're back to the office to build this sucker. When we're done with this project, we'll have the most authentic tractor ever built. Take that, farming simulator. It'll take some time and a lot of company resources, but we can definitely say this Porsche will be ready to launch sometime in the future.
Welcome back, race fans. Like I mentioned just moments ago, we are at Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight, and currently qualifying is taking place for the race. We'll kick up, well actually we can't kick that up, yes, never mind. We are going to be bringing in league admin Cameron Colby in just a moment to help explain exactly what this event's going to be, so let me grab him here. I am working with Discord tonight rather than TeamSpeak, so if I'm a bit slow with certain things, cut me a little bit of slack. This is a bit different for me, but let's see, we should be able to bring him down here. That was my bad. He was in the middle of the driver's meeting. So we'll give him a moment to sort that out. He is working on the driver's meeting with these guys. So, essentially what I'm gathering from this is these guys pay $5 to come on in and race these races. And you get payouts for racing and doing well in the race. So it's a pretty cool deal. Just basically... as the name says, Weekend Warriors, they race on Saturdays normally. Tonight, we're on Friday, I believe, to avoid from getting too close to Christmas Eve, which is Sunday. So, Merry Christmas to everyone out there. We've had the Christmas lights up for the past few races. Also want to give a thanks to the iRacing Weekend Warriors and their sponsors out here, iRacing Drivers World group on Facebook, Monkey Motorsports, Colby's Paints. I think there's another one that I'm forgetting, but we'll figure that out as the night goes on. But I want to thank the iRacing Weekend Warriors and Cameron Colby for allowing me to do this. Should be a fun night. Hopefully I can bring some more of these races to PSI TV. And if you notice in the top right hand corner, you may notice a new logo in the top right corner. That'll be our logo going into 2018. I actually designed it last night. So anyways, welcome everyone as more people are joining. Welcome to the race tonight. We're going to be bringing Cameron Colby back down in just a moment. See if we can't wrangle him down here. And all right, well, He's still talking through the drivers' meeting. I'm just going to see if we can get him in here, hopefully to explain exactly what we're looking at tonight. But in other news, actually, he may have come down. Alrighty, so Cameron Colby, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Cameron, first off, want to thank you for having PSI TV on for this event here tonight. Should be a lot of fun. I'm a bit of a stranger to this group, so first off, I already mentioned that there will be payouts for certain positions tonight. Can you tell us what those payouts will be?
First place is going to be $29. Second's going to be $15, and third place will be $9.
Well, sounds good. So I know this is normally a yearly thing, pretty much. You just compete, to my understanding at least, every weekend for the most part. Normally on Saturdays, if I'm not mistaken. And normally I believe this is on Max Speed TV, but thankfully tonight it's here on PSI TV. So once more, thanks to that. But I'm a bit of a stranger to this. Been wanting to race for a while, but now have this chance. So if there's anything that the viewers should really know, I guess that'd be your chance to say that now. I think from there, it's just kind of a straight up race.
Yeah, basically what we do to organize these races is we run a lot of polls in the group, and basically the majority wins. So we'll set up a poll for, which track, which car, whatever, and then we'll determine the buy-in based on popularity on the polls, and that buy-in fee pays for broadcasting and the payouts, of course.
All right, well, sounds great. Before I let you go and get to your race control duties, just want to ask, we're just racing straight up tonight, no stages, right?
That is correct, no stages.
Sounds good. We'll let you get back up there and go through the grid.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And again, that was Cameron Colby. I want to thank him and it looks like Brian Vaughn for bringing me up here tonight, giving me this chance to do this. So we'll get right into it then. Looks like on pole, we're going to have Kyle Barnes. Give me just a moment to bring up our grid. So Timothy Barnes on pole out of the Virginias with Brady Biggs to his outside, the number 18. In row number 2, we're going to have Daniel Falkingham in the number 82 with Jim Ott to the outside in the number 3. That's the wrong button. In the 5th position, we're going to have Rocky Void starting off in the number 25 and Jonathan Manzella to his outside in the number 14, followed by CJ Gates in the number 13 on the inside of row number 4 with Joshua Gillen to his outside. Kelsey Rogers will be bringing up in the 9th position in the number 6 truck tonight, and Tony Boyd will be in the number 52 and to the outside of row number 5 in P10. So we'll cycle through the rest of the grid here. Looks like at least about 14 guys out here tonight, 13 actually. And I believe we might have Ernie Ludwig as well, but that's going to be it here for Atlanta. It's a bit of a small field, but these guys, they know what they're doing, so it should still be a great race. And let's see if we can't get a look at our pole sitter. So it looks like Timothy Barnes will be paying homage to the Food Country USA truck. That truck has actually been in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series for many, many years, and he's given it a bit of a fun run here tonight. We've got new guys, to me anyway. I haven't really watched a race with these guys before, so there may be some unknowns at least for me, but I'll try and work through those to the best of my ability. As these guys get rolling away, we'll bring up the race summary here tonight. We're going to actually add some long things to a race. So we got 75 total laps on hand, so it's only fitting that number 75 truck is on pole with Food Country USA on the hood, sides, rear, and just about everywhere on that truck. It's a very nice looking truck in my opinion. As Cameron mentioned, we're just going to be racing straight up, no stages, just 75 laps to see who will get the payouts here tonight. Again, want to thank all of the sponsors that normally back us, as well as the new ones coming on with tonight's event. Going to be Coley's Eye Paints, Monkey Motorsports, the group itself, iRacing Weekend Warriors, as well as the Hub Sim Racing giveaways, and the iRacing Drivers World group on Facebook as we get ready to take the green flag here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Once again, just want to wish everyone watching a great Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, whatever you celebrate. I hope it was great, or is great. Don't really know how Hanukkah works, to be totally honest with you, but we're getting ready to take the green flag here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. I am normally joined by Brendan Eltoff for Zach Lingard, but not tonight.
Green, green, green.
And the green flag is out. Kyle Barnes is on his way on the inside of row number 1, takes the green flag. And this place is rather bumpy, so immediately you'll see these trucks really travel going over the bumps through the corners and really pitch around this way and that. It's going to be a pretty draft-oriented race. I think the draft will dominate much of the front running, but currently that number 75 truck opting to go to the top side out of turn 2. Looks like we're going to have a challenger to his inside. Daniel Falkingham looking for the lane down low in that Hooters machine. He's going to get the lane so far. Almost washes up into Barnes, actually, coming out of turn 4, but they will make it through unscathed, and Barnes is going to lead lap 1 with Falkingham right on his tailgate. And further back, it looks like Briggs in the number 18 has fallen back just a little bit. But he's still right with these guys, and with this being such a draft-oriented race, at least in the past on iRacing, there was an aero update to the iRacing trucks not too long ago, just a couple of weeks ago, so that may change up the racing here a little bit. I haven't actually experimented with the trucks here since then, so it'll be a bit of a learning experience for me and the rest of these drivers if they haven't gotten any practice in yet, but in the past, this place has always been very draft-oriented with these NASCAR trucks, considering they punch such a huge hole in the air. You know, it just really opens up the opportunity for the draft, and I think that's what Daniel Falkingham is working with here on the number 75 of Timothy Barnes. So as they continue to do battle up in the front, we've got a truck almost high and into the wall, almost. I think that was possibly the number 3, I want to say. Looks like that may have been the number 3 of Jim Ott that got way high, and it was. He got really close to the outside wall there out of turn 4, and it was only lap number 3, but these guys are really pushing it, trying to see what they can do with the trucks. Kelsey Rogers on the move, and I tell you what, these guys are going to have a handful, I guarantee you that much, because these, you know, they don't play nice, these trucks, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys do over the course of 75 laps. 4 in the books so far, and Timothy Barnes still pulling away, actually, now from Daniel Falkingham with Brady Briggs. Did I get that name right? Yeah, Brady Briggs, the number 18, close behind that number 82 Hooters machine. So if you follow the PSI TV page here on Facebook, you may notice a brand new 4th digit to our like total. Today, thanks to Cameron Colby and the iRacing Weekend Warriors, we were able to hit 1,000 likes on Facebook, and, you know, that's an accomplishment for me, starting off in August, really, with broadcasting, and already by Christmas we have 1,000 likes, so that's really awesome. Thanks to Cameron Colby, the iRacing Weekend Warriors group, and everyone who has liked the page in the past, or the present, or even the future. But I just want to mention we're going to be doing a bit of a raffle, and I'm announcing it here in this race. We'll put it on the page after the race as well. Basically, we're going to be giving away some wallpapers. You know, everybody watching this obviously has some kind of device that they're watching it on, be it a phone, a tablet, computer, whatever. So if you're a NASCAR fan, which you probably are if you like this page, you can get a piece of this raffle. Basically, we're going to be raffling away wallpapers to deck out your 2018 season. So if you would like a wallpaper for your 2018 season of whatever favorite driver or drivers that you have, you can enter this raffle. More info will be posted on the PSI TV Facebook page, and to find that page you can go to facebook.com/pitstoptv/ and get more info on the event. We'll also be sending out some hero cards signed by David Levine. And those hero cards, by the way, if you don't know who David Levine is, he's a past IMSA racer. He's also driven in the NASCAR Truck Series in the past at Homestead in 2015 and finished 5th in the 2015 ARCA Racing Series. So maybe not, one of the better known drivers, but he's certainly got a heck of a lot of talent. He races in the NMNTS Racing Series as well. But back to the action here that we're looking at, the iRacing Weekend Warriors Truck Series. or not Truck Series, but Truck Race rather, at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And I believe this is a Christmas special. Normally these guys race on Saturday nights, but tonight they moved it to Friday to get it further away from Christmas. And a car in the wall, I think that's going to be 25 of Rocky Boyd. Yeah, Rocky Boyd just pushed up out of turn 2, got in the fence. Everyone navigated around it pretty easily, but there were some checkups, and it looks like that's only going to create an even bigger gap from second back to third, as now third will be taken back by Brady Biggs, number 18. But you've got the 14 going by him right here, actually, and that's going to be Jonathan Mazzella, a new guy as well to PSI TV. I don't think we've actually had any of these drivers on PSI TV before, so again, a learning experience, learning how these guys race. And of course, if anyone has any questions out in the chat, you can just make a comment there. You know, as I'm commentating the race, I'll see that and be able to answer. If you have any question at all, really, for me, regarding the broadcast that you're seeing, or anything else about PSI TV, just go ahead and ask. I'll answer it as soon as I can. But wow, big checkup from Brady Briggs right there. He's going to fall back a couple of positions. And it looks like it's going to be Jonathan Mazzella that takes advantage of that, as well as number 3 of Jim Ott, trying to get up into that 4th place. Now Brady Briggs still in 5th and working on that number 3 now. We saw Jim Ott lose a few positions a little while ago because he got so high up out of turn 4, and it didn't seem to affect him really, aside from taking some positions away, and he's still, you know, right in the thick of things as everyone right here in this tight little battle. All of these guys are still right in the thick of things. If something happens up ahead of them with Falkingham or Barnes, they're easily right back in the battle for the lead, or you know, possibly the win later on. So just want to do a quick rundown through the field. It looks like at least through the top 10, we've got Timothy Barnes out front in the number 75 Chevrolet with Daniel Falkingham in 2nd still. Jonathan Mazzella has moved up into the 3rd spot with Jim Ott in 4th, Brady Briggs in 5th, Kelsey Rogers currently in 6th, Kenneth McCullough Jr. in 7th place. Rocky Boyd has fallen all the way back to 8th with CJ Gates in 9th and Tony Boyd in 10th spot. So back up to the leader, Timothy Barnes. I believe his name is actually Kyle Barnes. I could be wrong, so I've been saying Kyle a bit. Let's see. How do you qualify for enter cash payout races? Well, Eric Marvel, these guys have a Facebook group and page, so you can contact them. It's actually tagged in the name of this broadcast, so you may be able to click it from there. Otherwise, it's iRacing Weekend Warriors, and you can contact them about racing in the future. I believe it's only a $5 pay-in, and the payouts are based on how many people enter. So in big races, you could have a lot of money up for grabs. So it's certainly a great group to join in, even if you're just a part-timer. So as I was getting to, Kyle Barnes, I believe is his real name, currently just putting a clinic on, but he's not too far ahead of Daniel Falkingham. And as these tires fall off, you'll notice that 82 is going to be able to really use that draft to tighten that truck up in case they are loose, and I believe they are a bit loose. I could be wrong there, but you know, if they're loose at all, that number 82 is in the best spot to be, because that draft off the 75 will actually tighten him up a little bit and give him a bit of an advantage. Rather than being loose and skidding, he'll have the nose pretty much, or have the truck rather pretty much straight. And actually, it looks like he's going to go down to that white line. It looks like he's finding something lower down at Kyle Barnes in the wall. He's going to lose that lead, that 75. I mean, he was looking good for the first 15 laps, and now as we round lap 16, it's going to be Daniel Falkingham to the lead. That's a pretty good pass, I won't lie. Just get up to him, pressure him, and Falkingham just got him tight. I guess just pressured him into getting him tight. And he's going to fall back now. We'll go on board with the Virginia driver. And that's what I was getting at. You know, the tires are going to fall off so much that these guys really have to be wary once we get a caution or pit, whatever it may be, of running the tires off fast. You got to really balance it between, you know, do you want to go fast for the first 15 laps, or play the catch-up game and have the better tires later in the run And I think Timothy Barnes may have just run the tires off a little bit too much in that first run. Looks like he got tight, loose, one of the two. It's hard to tell because iRacing really did change up these trucks and how they drive, really slowed them down a lot. So it's hard to tell exactly how they're driving. Trying to watch here, though, the 75 seems rather planted, just a little bit slow now that he's gotten the fence and damaged the right side of that truck, but it looks like he's going to continue on relatively fine, still in the second spot with a pretty big gap over third place. So now Daniel Falkingham, your leader in the number 82 Hooters machine, paying a bit of a tribute to Chase Elliott, current hot rod pretty much in the NASCAR Cup Series. Very nice paint scheme there. And again, these guys are all new to me. If I can't call the action quite as personally as I do with other series, I apologize. But hopefully, if PSI's EV can in fact secure some more races with these guys, I'll get to know them a little bit more and really be able to call these races a little bit more enthusiastically. I'm doing my best here. And I just, again, want to really drive the point home that I really thank Cameron Colby for giving me this opportunity to broadcast this race. And as we look back here from the 82 back to the 75 and 14, these guys are really trying to catch him. And, you know, I thought this race was going to be rather draft-oriented, but it's not so far. You're able to get out to that lead, and it looks like just be able to build it and build it and build it, as the 82 is pretty much just driving away from the number 75 of Timothy Barnes, pretty much just checking out on the field. Looks like whatever iRacing did to these trucks has really paid off, and I saw a truck loose that may have been the number 3 or the number 13. I'm not totally certain. I know it was a red truck. So it was the number 16, it looks like. Kenneth McCullough looked a little bit loose out of turn 4 that time around. He's battling here with the number 13 of CJ Gates, trying to find any advantage he can in that Georgia Bulldogs truck. And I just want to mention, if it's not the Georgia Bulldogs, I apologize, but I believe it is. I'm not much of a college sports fan, but I know a little bit. And CJ Gates up in the wall out of turn 4. That's going to be the Jack Daniels, number 13, in the fence, and he's going to lose a spot and a bunch of time, but I don't think he'll lose any more spots than just the one to Kenneth McCullough. Looks like he's got a pretty big gap back to Rocky Boyd, and by big I mean about 4 seconds. So looks like he's safe for now. Looks like he's going to hang on to that spot in 8th. I don't think he's going to lose any more than that. And 23 laps in the books now as the leader rounds turn 4, comes around to the start-finish line. It's going to be Daniel Falkingham, and the number 82 is still out front. He's only led 8 laps. Kyle Barnes was able to take away the first 16. And, you know, I just want to get your thoughts on who's going to end up taking this one home, because, quite honestly, I don't know the tendencies of these drivers. I don't know exactly how they're going to drive over the long run. And a car loose in the back, I think that's number 18 of Brady Briggs, and it was. Number 3 in the wall on entry to turn 3. He pulls off a great save, Jim Ott. That was a great piece of driving. We'll go back and get a replay on that in just a moment. Looks like he's still a little bit free, though, coming out of turn 4. That was one heck of a piece of driving, though, out of that number 3. So we'll get a look back at that out of the number 3 of Jim Ott. Again, that was one heck of a piece of driving. We'll actually go on board with him and just see how he navigates turn 3 here. We saw the 18 get loose. He was right behind him for that. So these guys must be a bit free, obviously, at least out of the corner. And he just got in the wall a little bit going into the corner. It was a little bit too high, and that wall really sucks you in. It's really easy to go up there and just pretty much knock the wall down on entry of 3, because it's just a little hard to tell when it's coming up. And we do see him get a little bit loose out of 4 there. So obviously that number 3 is not performing as Jim Ott probably wants it to be. Kelsey Rogers, and it looks like the number 16 of Kenneth McCullough have caught him. And Kenneth McCullough trying to work his way around that number 3 Exalta Chevrolet. Kenneth McCullough to the inside of the number 3 of Jim Ott. He's got the run down the front straightaway. He's trying to take that spot away, and here comes the number 40. We haven't seen him at all. I think he's actually a lap down. That's going to be Joshua Gillen in the number 40. He's got fresh tires, and he is moving. I tell you what, he is on a mission right now. 3 wide out of turn 2. Oh, we're wrecking.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Wow. I don't really have words for that one. It wasn't intentional by any means, but that's a huge hit for Kenneth McCullum, the number 16. I don't know if we have fast repairs in this series, but that's a huge hit to that number 16, and I think if there's no fast repairs, that's definitely his race done. That's a big wreck for that number 16. So we'll go back and get another look at this. Kenneth McCullough and Jim Ott were battling for this spot, and the number 40 of, I believe that was, Joshua Gillen came into the picture, and he's on fresh tires. Keep that in mind. He's on fresh tires and moving. He's a man on a mission right here. He's got the better tires, and he's able to just close up on these guys through the corner. He gets to the inside and makes it 3 wide, and something happens with the 3 there. He ends up making contact with the 16, hooks the 16 up into the fence head on, and that's probably going to be Kenneth McCullough's night if there's no fast repairs. We'll check up on that in a second, but we're going to get another look at this time from the chopper. We'll see if we can't figure out what happens to the number 3 here. I think he may have just exited the corner a little bit too low, had a little too much wheel in it, tried to catch it and not wreck the 16. Looks like he got loose, and that brought him back down into the 16. Definitely not an intentional move there out of Jim Ott. That really just looked to me like he was trying to actually stay off of the 16. That's why you saw his truck. Bob will actually go on board with him in just a moment, if I can find him. So we'll go on board with him as, I believe right here he's getting free. I think you'll hear the tire squeal a little bit. I think he's getting free here. He tries to catch it, ends up getting free again, comes back down into the 16. I really find it hard to believe that would be intentional, because, it ends up hurting his truck as well. So I think that was just a mistake on Jim Ott's part. I think he was actually trying to keep his truck off of the number 16 of Kenneth McCullough, and just unfortunately ended up collecting him. I don't know if they have fast repairs. We'll check on that number 16 now. Kenneth McCullough's all fixed up, so they had a fast repair, at least one. He's going to use that now, and that's a great time to use it, obviously, considering he was wrecked up, and you see the new fenders on that number 16. Considering this is iRacing, basically that stands for Internet Racing. Just want to mention, if you're new to the iRacing scene, basically you do sometimes get allotted fast repairs. Generally, it's a set amount of 1 or 2, something like that, but sometimes they're unlimited in certain hosted races or league races. But here we saw, obviously, they have at least 1 fast repair, so Kenneth McCullough was able to use that to his advantage and get his truck fixed up, and now it looks like he's going to continue on, not even going to lose a lap out of that. It looks like Joshua Gillen was able to pull out. Yeah, he's going to end up using a wave round to get back to just 1 lap down instead of 2 laps down. And Timothy Barnes, I'll mention, had also pitted before that caution flag, and he's going to end up taking home the lucky dog here, the first one of the night, and we'll get back on the lead lap. So once more, as we watch here, the iRacing Weekend Warriors truck race from Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Christmas special, I'll call it, here on Friday, December 23rd, or sorry, December 22nd. I can figure out calendars. Just want to once again thank Cameron Colby, Brian Vaughn for allowing me to do this. It's a great opportunity, really appreciate it. Hopefully we have some fun here in the next 45 laps. Looks like these guys are getting the 1 to green signal here and should be going green shortly. And there goes Joshua Gillen taking his wave around. These guys will double up, and Daniel Falkingham still has the lead. He's going to be starting in first place in that number 82. I'm not sure on the restart rule here in the iRacing Weekend Warriors series, but in some leagues, basically these guys get an allotted restart box. It's a bit bigger than NASCAR's, but essentially from the time the pace car enters, they can take off whenever they want. That's normal iRacing rules. We'll see what they do here. The league may require them to wait until the green flag to go ahead and fire away. So we'll see exactly what the number 82 of Daniel Falkingham does. But we'll actually go on board here with fourth place Kelsey Rogers. We'll take the onboard camera on that number 6 for this restart. So as you can see, the pace car lights are off. He's going to take a quick left turn into the pits in just a moment, and Daniel Falkingham is in control of the restart, and he fires away. Daniel Falkingham and the number 82 off and away for the restart, leading these guys, and Brady Briggs is going to be able to keep up with him for the most part. He's going to take second place away from Jonathan Mazzella and try and get after that number 82 truck. Behind Kelsey Rogers, these guys are still in pretty much a pack. It looks like that number 13 in 5th place trying to work on that number 6 right now. The 6 actually gets high out of turn 2, and here comes the 13. CJ Gates going to try and make a move into turn 3. He's going to pull back in, think better of it. But if he can get a run on Kelsey Rogers here through turn 4 and finally pull up alongside of him, he almost does. But if he can pull up alongside of Kelsey Rogers into turn 1, either on the outside or the inside, he's going to have a great chance of trying to pass that number 6 truck. He's not going to be able to do it just yet. Back up to the lead, Daniel Falkingham trying to pull away from that number 18 of Brady Briggs. Falkingham trying to build a bigger and bigger lead. He's able to pull away so far from that number 18. Looks like he's got a pretty good truck under him, and I'd say the other truck that we're going to have to watch for to possibly win this thing would be the number 75 of Timothy Barnes. He seemed really fast in that first run until he drove the tires off a little bit too much and started to fall back, but I dare say he's going to be one to watch out in the rest of this race. Currently, Jim Ott trying to get back by that number 75 here. Jim Ott working to the inside off into turn 3. And he will complete the pass, but now Timothy Barnes is going to be looking for the crossover. He's not going to be able to do it just yet. But we'll see if he can pull off a move here as they're catching up to the number 52 of Tony Boyd. And I will say I've seen Rocky Boyd out in the iRacing scene quite a bit, but I haven't seen, I'm going to guess, his brother, Tony Boyd, until now. So that's a new one for me. Good to see those guys out here, though. And it looks like the 13's actually made the pass on the 6, so we'll go up there to that battle as CJ Gates has moved into the 4th spot. Kelsey Rogers falling to 5th. And I just want to mention, as you see a little bit of blinking, as we call it, out of the number 6 of Kelsey Rogers. Again, iRacing basically stands for internet racing, so if you see some of that blinking, as we call it, the car, or the truck in this case, kind of literally blinking in and out, disappearing, and then coming back, that's just an impurity in the internet connection. It's nothing to really worry about until it, at least for now, it's nothing to really worry about. Sometimes it can get serious and cause issues, but for now, it looks like it's not really causing any problems. It's pretty normal, actually, in iRacing, and you see it there again. That's just, maybe a weaker connection than the rest of the drivers in the field, so it's nothing to really worry about. Hopefully it doesn't cause any problems. So far, it hasn't just yet, and that number 6 continuing on, trying to catch that number 13, and make a pass on CJ Gates once again. But back up to the lead, Daniel Falkingham still trying to pull away from the number 18, but Brady Briggs is able to keep right with him so far. And so if you're out in the chat, go ahead and leave us a comment of who you think will take this thing home tonight. Obviously, Daniel Falkingham looking really good so far in this number 82 Hooters machine, but Brady Briggs, Jonathan Manzella, Timothy Barnes, also a few of the stronger drivers out here tonight. So it'll be interesting to see who takes this thing home and who gets the biggest payouts. As Cameron Colby mentioned a little while ago at the top of the show, there will be payouts to the top 3 drivers, I believe. I don't remember the numbers on the first 2, but I know 3rd place gets $9. So if you can imagine that going up from there, that should give you a bit of an idea of what these guys can make out of this race tonight. Daniel Falkingham currently in that winning spot, and actually Brady Briggs catching up to him, though, almost to his tailgate, only a 1 truck length distance between them. As we go on board here with Brady Briggs out of the Midwest, he's trying to get up to that number 82 and try and put some air on the spoiler, maybe get him a little bit loose, get him a little bit tight, one of the two. Again, I haven't really done a whole lot of racing with these trucks since they updated them on iRacing, but I know the aero is a bit different. There's a bit more front and downforce, and that should free them up a little bit. And currently right now, Brady Briggs is trying to get up to the back end of the 82, maybe put some pressure on him. That's pretty much what Daniel Falkingham did with the 75 earlier, as he pressured Timothy Barnes into making the mistake. He got tight out of turn 4, got in the fence, and that was able to give Falkingham the lead. And now Brady Briggs trying to do something similar here with the 82, but I don't think it's going to phase him just yet. He actually gets the apron, gets tight, and he's going to wash up out of turn 4 and lose some time to the 82. The 18, Brady Briggs, not giving up just yet. Here you can see the real-time delta to the leader, as well as the real-time speed out of the number 18. And this is only going to bring Jonathan Mazzella, into the battle. This really on Fox Sports? No, it's not. So the program I used, Bo, was basically created by, I believe, I don't remember the name, but the company is ibog.co, and I downloaded IRTVO from them, and the default graphics pack that you see here is based on the 2015 Fox Sports sticker, and so it's got the Fox Sports Live decal on the top right. This isn't actually on Fox Sports, though, so sorry for that confusion. I am working on a custom ticker, though. I just haven't been able to finish it and don't want to put up a halfway finished product for you guys to watch. So this is a polished off product. I really like it, so we're using this for now at least. And Brady Briggs still trying to find a way around that number 82 of Daniel Falkingham. He's right there, and Jonathan Mazzella isn't too far back. That is Mike Joy's youngest son. Oh, that's funny, Michael. But yeah, Brady Briggs still working on that number 82, and actually a battle further back that's going to include Jim Ott once again, and Kenneth McCullough driving up to him into this battle, and Timothy Barnes trying to work the bottom side around the 3. He's going to find a way by him this time and make the pass, but that's going to open up the opportunity for the 3 to get right back by him, but the 16 actually going to fill that gap and go at the number 3 of Jim Ott. We saw this battle just a little while ago, and it ended up in a wreck, so we'll see if these guys can make it this time. Kenneth McCullough is going to back out of that situation. Maybe doesn't want a repeat of earlier. It wasn't anything, malicious. There was no malicious intent earlier, but actually the number 13, CJ Gates, starting to fall back to this battle as well. And we've got 4 trucks right under a blanket here with 32 laps to go from Atlanta Motor Speedway. And as these guys continue to battle real quick, I'm going to throw up some various cameras to try and just get your blood pumping and show off some of the action here. We're going to call it, I guess, just a bit of a crank it up session with 30 laps to go. So just enjoy the camera angles, and we'll be right back. welcome back from that. Just needed to give my voice a bit of a rest, as I'm the only one calling this race tonight. Normally, we have the guest commentators as guys like Zach Lindgren, Sam Collins, Brennan Elshoff, so thank them for what they do. Unfortunately, we don't have any of them with us tonight, but currently, we've got the number 18 still trying to chase down that number 82 of Daniel Falkingham. Through that bit of a crank it up session, we saw these guys get pretty much on top of each other at one point, but they did end up separating through turns 3 and 4, so Brady Briggs has fallen a little bit further back. Excuse me, now 25 laps to go, and Brady Briggs still trying to find a way back up to that number 82, maybe to get by him. And Jonathan Mazzello was up in this battle for just a little while as well, but he's fallen back just as the number 18 has. We're going to go back, focus on a battle that was going on a little while ago. That was the number 16 of Kenneth McCullough racing with Jim Ott. The 16 has gotten by Jim Ott in the number 3, and CJ Gates has fallen further back. CJ Gates now into the 7th spot. And it looks like the 75 has pitted once again, maybe had a hiccup. We'll actually go back and try and see what happens to him. Looks like, yeah, looks like he made a pit stop, so we'll watch this number 75 and see if we can't find what happens to him. You can see here he's running ahead of CJ Gates, Kenneth McCullough, Jim Ott, those guys. And I believe in about a lap or so we're going to see him visit the pit lane. And I don't think it's this time. I think it's the next time around. So we'll watch for that real quick. And I think that's what put him behind, because he is now a lap down, as well as Rocky Boyd, Joshua Gillen, and Gregory Sager. I don't want to mess that name up. Hopefully I'm not messing that name up. It's spelled S-A-E-G-E-R. I think it's Sager. It just seems to be a reason to me. Like I said, I believe here Kyle Barnes is going to kick off the green flag pit stops. We'll see him pull into the pits, I believe, in just a moment in that number 75 Food Country USA truck, and we will. He's going to pull it down into the pits here. And again, this was a few laps ago, so this is not current. We see him smoke the tires getting into the pits, but now he's on his way. He's in a very fast truck and has brand new tires on that truck, so a bit of a short pit move from him here, and that just may be enough to get him up into the lead battle. Daniel Falkingham, though, pulling away, and we'll bring up the race summary so far. We've run 54 laps. We've had 1 lead change and 1 caution for 4 laps, so very clean race so far, and these guys are starting to have to fight the trucks. You see a bobble there out of the 82, and I think that's causing the 18 to fall back to the Jonathan Mazzello. I think just the tires going away is starting to cause him to have to fall back a little bit to the 14, but this is going to be a great opportunity for Jonathan Mazzello to try and get by the number 18 finally. These guys have been running 1, 2, 3 for quite a while, and now Kelsey Rogers in the 4th spot, Kenneth McCullough in 5th. This battle continuing to rage on. They've split up a little bit at least. So Brady Briggs starting to find a bit of a rhythm once again, pull away from that number 14 just a little bit. And it's working out for him. I don't know if he's catching the leader necessarily. Daniel Falkingham still 7/10 ahead. And it looks like he's starting to gap him by a bit more, but I'll tell you what, Brady Briggs putting on one heck of an effort here to try and go get that win here tonight, and that money that he, these guys all pay in to the iRacing Weekend Warriors races, so just want to keep that in mind. These guys all pay in for the weekly races, $5 each, normally, unless it's a big event, I believe, but it does all get paid back out, I believe. 3rd place, 2nd place, and 1st place all get payouts, and so it's worth it to come race, even if you don't think you can maybe get in the top 3. It's worth it to come and see what you can do, because you never know, you might luck into something by a wreck happening ahead of you, and you just keeping your truck or car clean and making it to the end of the race. So even if you only do it for practice, it's worth it to come out, give it a shot with these guys, and you can message their page for more info on how to race with these guys. It's the iRacing Weekend Warriors page on Facebook. You can also go to their group and apply to join there. And here's what I was talking about. Timothy Barnes just drives right by these guys as if they're standing still at number 75 on brand new tires, and he is really moving. I could not believe what I just saw right there. He wasn't even in frame. He comes up, immediately passes these guys, and gets right by him. We'll actually get a replay of that if we can here from his onboard. That was a heck of a move to put on him. That's great driving right there to know where to put the truck, be able to get by these guys. So great move there, and we see him just catch up down the straightaway, and then just watch the difference through the corner. He's going to stay in the gas almost all the way into turn 3 pretty much, and then just roll the bottom right by these guys. That's a truck that's working good and has new tires on it. That's the difference right there between new and old tires. So I believe we'll start to see some of these guys come in, make their pit stops, and he's actually now by the leader of Daniel Falkingham as well, and he is really driving the wheels off that number 75, trying to get every last ounce of power out of it that he can. It'll be interesting to see, though, if our leader, Daniel Falkingham, and the other guys up in this battle, Brady Briggs, Jonathan Mazzella, to see if they actually even pit, because obviously they could be running this out to the end, and maybe Timothy Barnes just made a mistake in his calculation of, whether or not he needed to pit at all. So we'll see what happens here. I'd imagine they do have to pit if he pit. I wouldn't see him pitting for no reason. So the battle actually starting to pick up between the 14 and the 18 now at a turn 2, and Jonathan Mazzella looking for a way to get by him. Doesn't find it just yet, so he'll follow in Brady Briggs' tire tracks. The number 14, Jonathan Mazzella, still trying to find a way around this NOS Energy Drink. Number 18, Chevrolet of Brady Briggs. He's right on his tailgate, but he can't seem to find a way around just yet. He's definitely giving him a fight, though. Off into turn 3, he may be making the move this time, and he is going to put his nose down there, try and drive by this number 18. He's got the run on the inside, but he's got to be wary of pushing up on corner exit. The 18 bobbles out of the corner, though, so they're going to even have a drag race to the line. That time it's still Brady Briggs in second spot, but it looks like this number 14, Jonathan Mazzella, going to have the advantage through turns 1 and 2. Maybe pull a slide job on him. Doesn't have him cleared just yet, but out of turn 2, he will clear the number 18, take over the second spot. So great piece of driving there to get by the 18, but now he's got to be weary of that number 18, trying to come back and put a crossover on him. It doesn't happen right there, so put Jonathan Mazzella into P2. Brady Briggs trying to find a way back by that number 14. Hasn't found it just yet, but man, that's a heck of a battle right there to for these guys to still be on top of each other and for one of the two to not drive away from the other. These guys are, pretty even so far, but they are pulling themselves further out of this battle for the lead. So that number 14's got his work made out for him. He's got to hope for a mistake or something out of Daniel Falkingham if he wants to go and catch him for the lead, though. And with 10 laps to go, we'll go through the field real quick. Up in the lead is still Daniel Falkingham in the number 82. Quite a ways ahead of second place, Jonathan Mazzella, actually. And he has just been putting on a clinic since he passed Kyle Barnes on lap 17, I believe it was. We just saw Jonathan Mazzella and Brady Briggs battling for second place. And, Brady Briggs loose out of turn 2. Sorry, Brady Briggs. I keep messing that name up for whatever reason. It's one of the easiest ones to say out here. But Briggs got loose out of turn 2, was able to catch it. That was a heck of a piece of driving out of that number 18. In fourth spot, we've still got Kelsey Rogers in the number 6. Still trying to keep ahead of Kenneth McCullough Jr., and he looks like that's going to happen. Got about a second gap over the 16, but Kenneth McCullough in that Georgia Bulldogs truck trying to find any ounce of speed he can to try and go get that fourth spot, and maybe up to third if something like that happens out of the number 18 to really cause him to fall back. Currently, Jim Ott, after being involved in the first caution with Kenneth McCullough Jr., is running in the 6th spot in that number 3 Exalta Chevrolet. We saw him get loose out of turn 4, get up next to the wall really early in the race, and then have that incident with Kenneth McCullough, but they've since come back from that to 5th and 6th spots. CJ Gates, we saw him try and get up in the battle a little while ago, but it looks like he just drove the tires off the truck and is starting to fall back in that number 13. And he is out of Florida in the Jack Daniels paint scheme. Tony Boyd, the final driver on the lead lap, and that number 52 has started to really fall back, but The good news for him is, if we get a caution here, he's in a great spot to try and make something up, make something happen in that number 52 Boyd's Motorsports truck. Running in the 8th spot. Rocky Boyd is the next driver we come up to in the 9th position. Joshua Gillen, we saw a little bit of him earlier on, and he was right next to that wreck that we had earlier on in the night, but wasn't involved in it. He's in the number 40 truck, and he's 2 laps down currently. Kenneth Heasley currently in the 11th spot in the number 22. Looks like Mission 22 possibly. It's definitely got Marines on the door. I'm not sure of the actual sponsor on the hood. Very nice paint scheme, though. Moving back into 12th spot, and the final truck running at this point in the race is the 712 of Gregory Sager. I think that's how you say his name. And caution's out. I'm not sure where that is. But Daniel Falkingham's still in one piece. We'll look for this caution. Try and find what happened. Looks like it was Tony Boyd, who was running all by himself, I believe. Albeit a little bit off the pace, ends up spinning, it looks like in possibly turn 4, so we'll get a replay on this, and actually I think that starts all the way into turn 2, and he ends up down low on the track in turn 4. So we'll see what happens here with Tony Boyd, and just want to remind everyone out in the chat, if you've got any questions, go ahead and ask them. You can obviously like the live video and the page as well. We've got a raffle going on very soon with getting to 1,000 likes today, and he just gets loose out of turn 2, ends up slapping that wall just a little bit, kind of fishtailing into it. I think as he's trying to get back to the top side to arc it into 3, just loses control on those old tires, goes for a spin through turn 3. He's still drifting it, trying to save it. Ultimately in turn 4, he ends up losing control and spinning it down low. So that's going to be Tony Boyd bringing out the second caution of the night. I don't think he's going to hit anything. I don't think anyone's going to hit him. Just trying to get back to the speed, losing control again. But we'll end up ultimately finding control of the truck, getting rolling again. Unfortunate break for the driver of the number 52, and he's going to fall a lap down as he was lapped while he was spinning out. And yeah, just zero control with the old tires trying to get it up to speed. So that's what old tires do to you. You lose total control of the back end of the truck. It looks like he may actually be trying to pull the wave around on the field. As tires are pretty much necessary at this point of the race. Rocky Boyd going to take the same move, as well as looks like Greg Sager and the number 52 or 22, sorry, of Kenneth Heasley. Daniel Falkingham, it looks like, is going to hold on to the lead, at least for now. I don't think anyone passed him. And I don't know if he took 2 tires or 4. I don't think we're going to be able to find that out. But yeah, he'll hang on to the lead, so that's going to be Daniel Falkingham restarting from the first place when we go green. I assume we'll be going green. We had the caution with 6 to go. We should have at least 1 lap of green flag racing to finish this race off. iRacing doesn't yet have green-white checkers in their simulator. So basically, if there's a caution 5 laps to go or later in the race, generally that caution will end up ultimately ending the event. So we'll see what happens here. I think, being that the caution came out with about 6 to go, they should be safe of anything like that happening. I think they'll be able to race this one out with at least 1, if not 2 laps. And it looks like it will be 1 lap because they are still pacing around and they haven't taken the wave arounds around the track just yet. So it'll be 1 lap at most. But I'll tell you what, the 14, Jonathan Mazzella, and the 18 of Brady Briggs will have to be on top of it on this restart. They're going to have to pretty much try every move in the book to try and beat this number 82. It's just going to be a 1 lap shootout, and the good news for Daniel Falkingham is he has control over the restart, so it's going to be really hard to pass him. It's going to be really hard to get an advantage over that number 82 truck if you're Jonathan Mazzella or Brady Briggs. But Brady Briggs is going to be in the best spot because you have almost no visibility out the left side of one of these trucks, so it's going to be hard for Mazzella to try and time this restart. So advantage Brady Briggs in that situation. We'll see if he can find a way around that number 82, though. And as we come around with 2 laps to go, we have the 1 to green signal out for these drivers, which means they'll have 1 lap to go in the race when they take the green flag. And that's going to be it for this week in the iRacing Weekend Warriors series. They're running the trucks this week at Atlanta, as you can see here. And it's been a heck of a race so far. A lot of green flag racing, a lot of very clean racing. And I really think iRacing did a great job with updating these trucks to put the driving back in the driver's hands instead of pretty much just pinning it around these 1.5 mile racetracks. And Daniel Falkingham so far has bested the rest, and he's currently in the first spot. He'll have the advantage on this restart. We'll wait and see exactly how he's able to play it to his advantage to see if he can end up winning this race. And looks like Jonathan Mazzella trying to hang back a little bit, get a visual on that number 82, and he's already off and away. Brady Briggs going to take that second spot from Jonathan Mazzella. And already 3 wide going into turn 1. I think Jim Ott just got a better restart, and I think something happened to the number 14. We'll see if any penalties arise from that, but it looks like Daniel Falkingham going to be able to speed away to a victory here as long as he keeps it clean through these last 2 corners. Brady Briggs trying to hold off Jonathan Mazzella and Jim Ott for that second spot, and one of these guys are going to try and get up into third for a chance at $9. Contact in the back, that's Jonathan Mazzella into the number 3, but he's going to, or they're going to settle it out, and I think Mazzella is going to have the advantage out of turn 4 as Falkingham is going to win tonight. That's Daniel Falkingham taking the win and most of the money here tonight. Jonathan Mazzella will get the advantage at the line, just barely over the, looks like the 16 of Kenneth McCullough was able to end up finishing 4th, with Kelsey Rogers actually finishing 5th, and looks like Jim Ott actually fell way back. That may have been a result of the restart. He may have actually gotten a penalty. See what happens here with the number 3 of Jim Ott. We're going to go back a moment and see if we can't figure out exactly what happens with that number 3 truck. Well, anyways, Daniel Falkingham going to burn it down here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and with good reason, too. He's going to be your winner here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. If someone out in the chat that raced can give me some insight as to what happened with Jim Ott, that would be helpful. I think he may have gotten a penalty for the restart. I'm not sure. But he definitely fell back, and I think he was beat to the line anyways by Jonathan Mazzella. Jonathan Mazzella going to take 3rd place and $9. I'll have to get a confirmation once again on the payouts for 1st and 2nd, but we're going to bring in 3rd place Jonathan Mazzella. Jonathan Mazzella, this is Andrew Cardinale in the PSI TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I have a copy.
Well, Jonathan, you drove a heck of a race, racing with Brady Briggs for much of that second run in this the 75 lap event. How'd the truck out there feel tonight with the recent update to these trucks? And do you think you had a shot at 2nd place if there were more laps?
Oh, the truck felt great. The track was good and the setup was great. I think I had the 2nd best car in the field, especially on the long runs. I just spun the tires coming on to the green flag.
Well, man, maybe an unfortunate unfortunate night there. Sorry, to get 3rd place instead of 2nd. You definitely had a great truck. I definitely think you had the chance. But is there anyone you want to thank for this run out here tonight at Atlanta, and will you be back in future events?
I definitely want to thank Cameron and Brian Vaughn and the team that's broadcasting this today. It's a great race every weekend. It's a cheap entry fee to have a great race.
All right, well, thank you for your time. We'll move back up, and congratulations on the 3rd place run tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Want to apologize there. I definitely slipped up. English apparently is not my strong language. I couldn't get the word night out at all, and that just threw me off completely. But yeah, apologies about that one. We're going to get 2nd place Brady Briggs down here as well. We'll move him into that channel for a moment. And then Brady Briggs, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
Well, Brady, that was a heck of a run from you out there in the number 18 NOS Chevrolet. Just how'd you do on that last restart?
Yeah, I was really hoping for a yellow there. You know, my tires were completely gone. I had nothing for Daniel. He was about 4 seconds ahead. So I was happy to see that yellow. Also starting on the inside gave me the advantage. So good restart. Congrats to Daniel. That was a fun race.
You certainly did a heck of a job getting second place tonight. Congratulations on that. Is there anyone you want to thank for your run tonight?
Yeah, I just want to thank Cameron for putting this together. It's always fun to come out every weekend. You for broadcasting, fiance for watching, parents for watching, everybody else for watching. It's always fun to come out here and race.
All right. Well, thank you for coming out here tonight, giving us a bit of your time. We'll move you back up. Hope you have a great Christmas.
10-4. Thank you. You too.
And that was second place running Brady Briggs. And now we're going to move up to the winner. That's going to be Daniel Falkingham in the number 82. We'll watch his burnout here in slow motion while we talk to him. Let's see, Daniel Falkingham right there. Daniel Falkingham, this is Andrew Cardinale in the booth. Give a copy.
Yes, I do.
Well, Daniel, you drove a heck of a race. You were able to get that lead about lap 16 from Timothy Barnes, and you never looked back. I think you led every single lap from there. So, first off, congratulations on the win. Secondly, how was the truck out there tonight?
Yeah, the truck felt really good. Like in practice, I practiced a lot about the long run because I knew what to expect with Atlanta and like tires, and I felt pretty good throughout the entire race. I do want to quickly apologize to Brady for coming down on him like in the middle part of the race when we were racing. I was just trying to be defensive, trying to stay in front of him because I knew what to expect on the long run, and I really wanted to have that track position. But overall, the truck felt really good. I mean, it did start to get tight as usual, and it was a little bit loose coming off the corners, but overall, the truck felt really good.
Yeah, I noticed some loose conditions with you and some other drivers out there. I haven't driven these trucks since the update, at least not here at Atlanta, so I wasn't really sure of exactly how they were going to handle with the new aero package and I believe a bit of a suspension change, but you were able to best the rest out there on that number 82 Hooters machine, so is there anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, I know everyone said this, but I gotta thank Cameron for putting on this group. I mean, I love what he does. I hope it keeps going for a while. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who watched tonight. And I want to thank you for broadcasting. It was overall a really good race, good broadcast.
All right, well, thank you very much for this piece of your time. Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays to you and everyone watching, and we'll move you back up to the main channel.
Yep. Thank you, Andrew. Happy holidays, everybody.
Once again, that was your winner, Daniel Falkingham, and just want to again apologize for that bit of an interview mistake on my part. I just could not get a word out, but I was able to sort that out for the other two, and thank you to everyone who watched, like he said, and happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. We'll go through the final results here from Atlanta Motor Speedway in the first of hopefully more to come when it comes to the iRacing Weekend Warriors Series here on PSI TV. Again, Daniel Falkingham going to take the first position and most of the money here tonight from the payouts. Brady Briggs going to take second place in that number 18 with Jonathan Mazzella close behind in third place. Kenneth McCullough going to come back from an early wreck and end up in the fourth spot. Kelsey Rogers in fifth, Joshua Gillen in sixth, with CJ Gates in the number 13 recovering to a seventh place position. Rocky Boyd going to come home in the eighth place spot. Jim Ott, I think, may have gotten a penalty on that last restart and will end up finishing ninth, with Tony Boyd in 10th, one lap down. In the 11th position will be Kenneth Heasley in the number 22, with Gregory Sager in the, I believe it was a 7-12 out there in 12th spot. And last place, 13th spot, will end up being Timothy Barnes in the number 75 after starting on pole. Once more, I want to thank the iRacing Weekend Warriors group for bringing me on for this race. It was a lot of fun. Definitely really privileged to be able to have this chance. And hopefully tomorrow night we'll have another race as well. That will be the Loose Lugnuts Racing Series special event, Christmas special from Talladega in the NASCAR trucks, just like this race. And, that'll be 100 laps. Be a lot of fun there. Another league that I haven't broadcast just yet, but we'll have the chance to tomorrow night as long as everything goes correctly from here. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for the new sponsors, Monkey Motorsports, the iRacing Weekend Warriors group, the iRacing Drivers World group, the Hub, and everyone else who supports us out here I know SimSpec does a lot for the NMNTS Racing Series. Obviously, the NMNTS Racing Series, the Dirt Racing Challenge Series, and the All-Star Sim Racing Series, as well as TN Designs, Colby's Eye Paints, BA Graphics, Pit Stop Insider, everyone who pours their everlasting support into PSI TV. Just want to thank you, and I want to wish everyone out there a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Whatever you celebrate, hopefully it was good or will be good. And yeah, it's going to be it here from the Atlanta Motor Speedway, sorry, I can talk. The Atlanta Motor Speedway was a 75-lap event here for the, again, the iRacing Weekend Warrior Series. And just once more want to thank Cameron Colby for giving me this shot. Hopefully everyone, again, has a Merry Christmas, and hopefully we'll be seeing you tomorrow night.